Okay, what are you saying, people? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the stream. Hello guys, good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah guys, welcome back to the stream. I'm going to talk you through what's going in the charts today. Again, hope you're all doing well. Make sure you go check out the Telegram, check out the IC Markets, recommend the broker if you want to. My affiliate links there as well. But yeah guys, another live stream for you. Going to talk you through what's going in the charts today, see if you've got any opportunities coming our way. Like always, if there's any pairs that you want me to look at, want me to take a look at, make sure you let me know. Drop it down in the chat. Let me know what time frame as well you're working on, so I can specify what price action I should go into. But yeah guys, can take a look at what's going in the chart so far. Well, yesterday actually, I was looking mainly at AUD CAD and Euro USD for some buying opportunities. AUD CAD just kind of took off for me to the upside. I was looking for retracement back into this level here. Yesterday we did not get that into this kind of resistance there, turn support. It's a little bit of a choppy pair, so it might have not always gone to plan, but I was looking for a retest of this area here first before price continue to the upside, but we didn't really get much retracement yesterday, so I did not get involved in this trade. You can see on the 15 minute we kind of had price give us a little bit of a bowl there and then gradually just gain momentum to the upside during New York session. So AUD CAD, we got the buyers correct for that one, but did not get an entry, so nothing to show for it. But we'll look for retracement, because if this is a reversal, like I was talking to you guys yesterday, if this is a reversal and price wants to start making some highs back up here, there will be definitely another opportunity for us to get involved in this trade. Price, if it's going up there, can definitely pull back for us 2 or 3 times before it gets there. So it will be another opportunity to get involved. I think for now I'm going to wait for some retracement. This is quite a big move to the upside there. If I measure that, what's that? Yeah, over 100 pips to the upside. So I do want to see some retracement, because I do like to swing my trades, hold it for a day or two. So potentially there could be some buys there in the lower time frame, but I wouldn't be able to hold that for as long as I wanted to without price retracing against me. So I'm really looking for price to retrace. It might move up again before it does that, but essentially looking for price to retrace. It would be great if it came back down here. I'm not too sure if it will anymore. Might find support higher up. But yeah, looking for some retracement and then getting some buys and taking it further to the upside. And next target will be this area here around the 0.93 mark. Nice psychological area there as well. So looking for buys for AUD CADs. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll get anything today, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see how it starts moving. I was in some pound CAD sells, but that did fade into the upside, but it has come straight back down. So I'm thinking potentially that might have just been a false break, catch people on the wrong side, take people out that are selling just like me at this high here, and now it's pushing to the downside. So I think I still will be looking for sells here for pound CAD. It is still holding the key level of support I've been looking at. As you can see, support there, term resistance. So my sell idea is still on the cards. Just that I need to look for some re-entries, but price is a little bit choppy here, so I will be a bit patient with this one. But having a nice sell-off this morning, so I'm looking for 80 CAD to push, maybe continue to push down, put in a lower high somewhere, or retest that resistance, and then yeah, I'll look to get into some sells and take it back down into those lows. So that pound CAD idea is still on the cards. I thought potentially we could see some continuation to the upside, but we came back down, and looking at the daily, it looks like the sells are still looking good. So 80 CAD sells, 80 CAD buys, sorry, I'm looking at pound CAD sells. Slightly contradicting because, one says CAD should be bullish, one says CAD should be bearish, but we'll see. Again, I'm not looking to trade both at the same time, just whichever, looks the best. GJ 1 hour, sure thing, we'll take a look at that. GJ 1 hour, okay, so GJ, we saw some continuation yesterday. Price was a little bit choppy coming into yesterday. We did break to the upside quite nicely, and now we're coming back into kind of area consolidation, which will be acting as demand here. So price had quite an aggressive sell-off this morning. Again, it's tapped into the 158 area, nice psychological mark. So we've had a reaction from that, and we've also broken previous structure here on the hourly with that push, pullback push, and now we've made a new low past that. So potentially we could be seeing pound JPY maybe give us some continuation to the downside. I wouldn't get too overly confident with sells just yet. This pair is still very, very bullish on the higher time frames. Nice 4H close, but I still got a feeling we've still got a bit of upside left. I'd rather price start to really look bearish before I put some sells in, just because momentum with all these JPY pairs are so strong, and going against it is really, really aggressive for me anyway. So I would say for this one, watch what happens here, because from here we could actually start moving to the upside again. Potentially could even be some longs there, but if we start coming really down, back into this kind of consolidation, probably look for that lower high somewhere and the retest of that, and we can take some sales to the downside and some continuations. But pound JPY for me still, it looks like it's turning bearish, but it's still a very bullish market on the higher time frame, so I'm not touching it right now. But with that aggressive sell-off, it's giving us the first sign that yes, we could be turning bearish soon. It's respecting that 158 area as well, so that's a nice sign. And yeah, we could be turning bearish soon. I'm pretty sure most JPY pairs have had a bit of a reaction to it. AD JPY, CAD JPY, CHF JPY. So yeah, we've had a bit of a reaction on the JPY pairs, but yeah, I don't think it's anything to get too excited about, because again, a lot of people will be getting short here because they've seen that big bearish candle, and this could just be a big shakeout of those sellers and grabbing some liquidity. So sales will be looking good, but I'll say wait for a bit more development there, maybe some further continuation. Like I said, that could be a nice trade there on the retest of that resistance or something like that. But for me, it's still a bit premature now for sales for pound JPY, but it's something we could add to the watch list, and maybe there could be a trade maybe tomorrow for some shorts. But yeah, I wouldn't be interested in buys anyway either. It's already made a ridiculous move to the upside, so I want price to retrace for me if I'm looking at any type of buys. But yeah, sells will be looking good, just not yet in my opinion. Euro USD, so yeah, Euro USD yesterday I was looking at some buys. Only now we've seen the retracement I was looking for for Euro USD. We've had a nice sell-off there. That was kind of just after the end of the stream, really. Bit of consolidation, and then we saw a bit of a sell-off again this morning coming into London. So, yeah, Euro USD is a little bit of a funny pair for me. I'm not a fan of that daily close at all. Potentially even from like a bearish standpoint of things, it looks like potentially you'll come back to retest this support as resistance. And just as I can see a move to the upside for Euro USD, I can see price coming right back down again. So it's one of those ones where I'm a little bit more on the fence now than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was quite confident for some buys, but looking at that daily close, it gave me that wick to the upside. I know we can still go fill the wick, but it's not the best opportunity coming into that resistance. So for me, I'll probably still look for buys, but I'll be quite quickly to get my stop loss to break even to protect the trade. So if price does come back against me, I'm not risking any capital on that. But yeah, Euro USD, we've seen some retracement this morning. We've seen this push, pullback, another push, potentially another pullback, and we could be seeing some continuation. So that's what we're looking for there for Euro USD. We're coming back into this resistance here, now turn support. So just a simple break and retest. If we can hold on to this, buys will be looking good again. But if price is really just rejecting this support here on the left and wanting to continue bearish, then we might just sell off again, and then we just look for the catch on the lower high. Maybe a nice little head and shoulders could be forming, something like that, and then we continue that back down to the low. So that's what I'll be looking for if we do turn bearish. But yeah, right now it's not the clearest opportunity for me, but the best thing to do is just watch what price action does here. If we start turning bullish quite quickly, and kind of reverse that momentum there of the bears, then yeah, we could be seeing some continuation. There could be some nice longs, but like I said, probably stop loss to break even quite quickly. Yeah, I mean this month, coming into the later stages of the year, it does get a little bit quite volatile as well. And looking at DXY, DXY is looking, DXY is still looking bearish, to be honest, still looking bearish, but again, not a fan of that daily candle closure. It's still kind of holding on to this support here on the left. So again, not really a fan of that. So all that momentum that was seen yesterday kind of got retraced by the end of the day. That's why it's so important to wait for the daily candle closes. That's why I look to always create my watch list after the daily candles close, so I know where the momentum is on the higher time frames. Because this sell-off here on the 4H is looking great, and you're looking for that retracement to sell it back down again or something like that. But on the daily, you can see the momentum wasn't really there, and it's pulled back and it's still hanging on to this support. So even though yes, we could still sell off, but it's probably not the best kind of setup we're looking for, because price is still holding that daily support there on the left. So it's always good to look at the higher time frames, but still you want to keep things simple as much as possible as well. But yeah, we could still sell off here. We're coming back into this support here on the lower time frames. You can see really nice support. If we do respect this resistance, then we could see a nice sell off. So far we've had a slight hint that price is looking bearish here over the Asian session. Coming into London now, we have another test of this. So maybe if you can form a double top there, nice strong reaction back down, we could be in for really nice sells to these lows and for price to really start to continue. And if that's the case, then Euro USD will start looking bullish again, and Euro USD will probably start flying up to the upside again, and we can get some nice buys in. So we'll be looking at Euro USD and DXY kind of together, and making sure that they're in sync. And when they do line up quite nicely for that sell for DXY and the buy for Euro USD, yeah, I'll look to be entering a trade. But if you start breaking through this, yeah, I'll start raising my eyebrows a little bit more, because even though yes, we can still retrace and get back above it, I will be a bit more hesitant to get into some buys. And that might mean, like I said, on the daily, we could just be doing a break and retest of these lows here on the left, and price might want to go sell off again to the downside. So like I said, if I do get a trade, stop loss to break even, we'll be looking to do that fairly quickly. So far nothing yet. Price is still bearish here on that H1, and still bullish on the DXY as well. So it's in a nice area, looking to take advantage of that, but just not there yet. What I mean by that is just say, because okay, basically the way I trade is, I wait for, say, like if I'm looking to trade for tomorrow, I'd wait for the pairs that I'm looking at. So I normally look at the trades on like 4H hourly time frame. So this momentum here is looking great. I'm looking for some retracement and for price to continue to the downside. But when I go into the daily time frame, you can see prices pull back and still kind of hanging onto that support there on the left. So that means that the daily and the lower time frames are not fully in sync with each other. So if daily's struggling to break through a support, but you're looking for sells on the lower time frames, it doesn't make so much sense to look to sell that market. So basically what I mean by looking at the daily is just getting the bigger picture of things, and also help with your bias as well. So I mean, you don't have to. You can be perfectly profitable looking at the lower time frames, but for me, I like getting the bigger picture of things, and I like things to line up with the higher time frames as kind of like a confluence as well, and see where momentum is in the markets. Like, for example, when we were moving to the upside here, there was a lot of bullish momentum on the daily. So all of this kind of messy price action in this box here, I was still expecting price to continue to the upside. Whereas if I go into the 4H now, you can see that's a quite aggressive sell-off. People might be getting into some sells there, but then price just slowly trickles and continues to the upside. Why? Because momentum on the higher time frames is still to the upside there. So I'll be looking for buys there, and then people looking at that momentum will just be looking to add sells to that market. So that's what I mean by just looking at daily, just to make things like meet up together, like are in sync. That's the best way I can explain it. But it's not like it has to be, because it doesn't always have to be, but it's just nice for it to be in sync with the daily. But yeah, just wait for daily candle closure to identify where the momentum is in the markets, so you can trade with that momentum rather than against it, because typically against it, it's difficult. The probability of that trade to work out is obviously lower. GA and EA, sure thing. By the way, I hope that made sense. I wasn't just chatting rubbish. Yeah, so GA looking to sell off again. Prices respected that daily resistance here, daily support term resistance here, here on the left. You can see we put many wicks into that area. Nice candlestick there a couple days ago. Pulled all the way back down. We saw that bearish candle yesterday, and momentum is continuing to the downside. So like I said, for pound AUD, I still do think we can move into this area here where we put that wick there on the left, which is around the 1.83 area. So I can still see pound AUD getting to 1.83. I can still see pound NZD getting to these lows here. Might almost be there actually. Yeah, it's actually almost there. So pound NZD, pound AUD, they're all making that continuation to the downside there, and heading to those lows. So yeah, pound AUD for me is still looking bearish. I still can see a bit more downside. Probably wait for a pullback or something, because we are coming back into those lows there with this trend line here. So it'd be nice to pull back, put another lower high and sell off again. But yeah, I think pound AUD still heading off a little bit more to the downside, maybe to the 1.83 mark, and then from there you might see a bit of reaction to the upside, because GA does like its psychological levels. So I can still see a bit more downside for this one. Had a nice break and retest of that support, so we're seeing that momentum come through over today and tomorrow. But yeah, I think a bit more downside for pound AUD into that support, and then we might be seeing some nice buys back up again. But this is quite a bearish market, so not sure if I want to go against that just yet, but we'll see what happens when we do get there. But yeah, if you're looking to trade, I'd probably say wait for a pullback up again and then look for continuations. But yeah, it's looking like it's heading down to 1.83. And Euro AUD, I can imagine that's doing the exact same thing. Yeah, Euro AUD is continuing to sell off. This is quite a big sell-off here actually. A really nice head and shoulders there on the daily, actually broke through the neckline, and price is just continuing to the downside. We're due for a pullback soon, but with this momentum, who knows if we will actually pull back. We've got this key level of support and resistance, which I was looking at for Euro AUD, but actually it looks like price is breaking through this, especially with that daily candle yesterday. You can see really strong support, resistance, 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 support as well. So a really key level around the 1.56 mark, which we are breaking through. So I think if we can stay underneath this for Euro AUD, price will probably eventually come back down to these lows, just like Euro NZD is doing. But I think for now, I'll probably see if price can come back and retest this to confirm that, as resistance, and then we can probably see some more continuation to the downside, because AU is still looking strong, momentum is still strong with AU, so I can imagine that will continue. Most of those pairs they're reversing anyway, so I think your AUD, pound AUD will probably just end up continuing to the downside. So yeah, a bit of a pullback on your AUD will be looking good, back into that 156 area, see if you can hold that as resistance, and could be some nice sells continuing to the downside there. I know we've sold off for ages, but the only way I'd look for buys for Euro AUD is if we push to the upside, break above this area, start holding as support, treat that as a false break, use that as support, and then we could see some nice buys. So that's the only way I'll look for buys for Euro AUD. Other than that, I think price could still continue to the downside a little bit more for these pairs. So yeah, I hope that analysis helped. But yeah, still looking bearish. So basically, just playing off that level. If we can hold underneath it, more sells, get back above it and give us a false break, look for the retest, and then we can see some continuations to the upside. Yeah, sure, we'll do pound USD now. Okay, so pound USD for this one, again, we did see a bit of a push to the upside, breaking through this trend line I've drawn in here. So we've broken through that trend line. Again, it's not the strongest trend line in the world. We've only got two kind of major price coming to test it. So normally want to see at least 3 to really confirm a trend line. So it's not the strongest one, but we have broken through it. So it is giving us the sign that potentially we might be turning bullish here for pound USD. So if I go on the lower time frames, we've broken through this resistance here as well. So I can see pound USD heading to the upside if we can hold this as support. Again, we still do have this bullish structure in place. So like yesterday, I was saying that I can see pound USD getting into this resistance, kind of the next resistance up. It came quite close yesterday, so technically that could be a test there actually. That could be counted as a test because this came within like a few pips of it, but I can still see if this bullish structure stays in place, another swing to the upside, kind of similar to Euro USD as well, seeing that swing to the upside. But if we do break back in, pound USD could be seeing a deeper retracement. So for me, it just depends what the DXY wants to do. DXY, if it can hold this resistance here, give us that double top that I was talking about, then I would be looking for those buys on Euro USD and pound USD. Obviously I won't take both, but I'll see which one's looking the best. But if we can get this double top here for DXY there, then I will looking for that sell off. Then I would expect pound USD to continue to the upside, back into around the 1.38500 mark. But yeah, we're looking a little bit bearish now, so we'll just see what happens with this. I think we might be coming into a trend line here as well. So yeah, we'll come into a trend line. So if we can hold this, DXY starts to look bearish again, I think we could be on for a nice move to the upside there for pound USD, back up to 1.38500. If we start breaking through this, then I'll probably leave the pair alone because we could be turning bearish, and then we'll wait for the lower high and then we get into our sells after that. So yeah, I'll see what happens at that trend line. So far we've wicked into that, but the candle's still got 24 minutes left and we still haven't seen that much rejection. So far we're holding on to it, but we'll see what happens there. We've also got a nice break and retest of this prior high, now turning support. So there's kind of nice confluence there of that resistance and that support linking up. So yeah, if we can hold on to this, pound USD good for another move into highs. But yeah, I want to see DXY give me that double top first and not pushing through this resistance, because if it does that, then pound USD will continue to fall and we don't want to be getting into any buys if that's the case, because price could really start to sell off. I mean, last week, was it last week? Week before? Last week, I think. Yeah, last week I was looking for sells for pound USD, mainly playing off, if I go on the daily quickly, I'm mainly playing off this support and resistance here. I was looking for sales for price to give us that another move to the downside, but as you can see, it broke through that and now it's continuing to the upside. So we could still come back for that retest here, which we still haven't done, and I wouldn't be surprised if price was to go and do that. So that sell-off could still be on the cards. Price coming back down to 1.36, retest this as support again. You can see really strong support, which we broke through, never retested. So we could come back for that retest, maybe continue up again or get back below. But yeah, that retest there is still on the card. So if we do turn bearish for pound USD, there probably will be a really nice swing to the downside, back down to 1.36. So yeah, I'm prepared for both directions. I'm just going to see which one, you know, pound USD gives us. So far, not too sure yet. Going to wait for that confirmation and see how DXY holds off as well. So far, DXY still looking a little bit bullish on the hourly, but if we can hold this as resistance, then we'll probably have a clearer answer where pound USD could go. Pound CAD, yeah, sure thing. So yeah, pound CAD, I'm actually looking for sales. I was in some sales yesterday, but that one failed, and now price has come back down again. So I'm looking at getting back involved in some sales. Yeah, I'm not trying to be stubborn with this one, say like it has to come down, but you know, I'm trying to be consistent as much as possible for analysis. And if price is still holding beneath this resistance, then you know the move that I'm looking for is still valid. If it starts breaking through this resistance, then I'll reanalyze the chart. But essentially for pound CAD, you know, we've had this massive sell-off here, kind of a bit of like a double top up here, and prices sold off quite aggressively. It's broken through this support, which it failed to do so for like a month or two. As you can see here, constant support, price trying to break through, really strong reaction to the upside from that. We've broken through, and now this will be acting as resistance. So if price can hold this as resistance, I can see pound CAD making that move back down into these lows here and probably giving us some new lows beneath that. So yeah, that's essentially what I'm looking for pound CAD. If it can break above there, then yeah, pound CAD might see some upside. But as long as we can hold it underneath that, I can see pound CAD falling back down to 1.68600, which is these lows all the way down there. So looking for those sales there for pound CAD. This morning we had a little bit of a sell-off here to the downside. Again, nothing too special. You can still see we do have bullish structure in place. We've got this push, pullback, another push. This could be a pullback to continue, but if we start failing at continuing and putting a lower high in, we'll look to get involved there and take it to the downside there for pound CAD. But yeah, for me, I'm bearish on pound CAD, looking for a move into those lows. So yeah, I'm just waiting for that lower high on pound CAD. You know, for price to reject it, either, you know, come back and reject that daily resistance again, that'll be great. It looks like it's starting to push up now. We do have a little bit of a trend line here as well, so see what happens there. Maybe we can put a lower high or break for the trend line and then get involved there. That would be nice as well. But I'm just going to see what happens when we start coming back up here again, because if we start coming back up here, breaking back above, hold that as support, then we might actually continue up. But if we don't, we come back up here, start rejecting as resistance, then sales will be looking good to take that to the downside. And yeah, targets will be all the way down there, and the risk to reward is looking great as well. So it's a pair on my watch list. Just going to see how price develops on that retest, whether if it will retest it or break through. And then yeah, wait for the confirmations, and I'll get into some sales. And if not, and if it starts breaking through, potentially some buys could be on the cards as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens on that, and then I'll make my decision there. On the big screen, yeah, sure thing. I'll take a look at US 30. US 30 probably still bullish. Yes, it is. It's still moving to the upside. Yeah, like I said, US 30 still expecting a move into those highs there on the left around the 35,600 mark. It's coming to this resistance here, as you can see. So it's tapping into that. So I think potentially US 30 might take a bit of a breather. We've still got kind of this level here, resistance and support. We can see support there, resistance. We might come and do this sort of thing and continue. We don't have to. We could just break out and continue, obviously. But if we do hold that as resistance, then we might see US 30 take a bit of a breather and start to sell off a little bit. You can see we are in a bit of a corrective kind of price action here. So maybe if we do start to see momentum come through, look for that first lower high, and we could be seeing some nice sells. If not, and we break through, then looking for that continuations to the upside for US 30 there. But we're coming to a key level resistance. You can see on the left, how many times we tried to break through this level and failed to do so, and had a really aggressive reaction to the downside from that area. So we'll be looking again to see maybe if we do see the opportunity again, and like I said, come back and retest some of these highs here on the left around the 3,500 mark. But if not, and we break above that, then yeah, break and retest, wait for probably a double bottom to take those buys, and yeah, price will be back into those highs and maybe even further, maybe up to 36 next. If not, then wait for the breakout of that kind of channel and that first kind of lower high formation, and then take the sells there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for US 30. So far I haven't had much of a reaction, so I'm not too sure if we'll break through or not. But yeah, if we do, then price will probably likely continue to the upside. So yeah, I hope that helped, but US 30 still needs a little bit more development for me to really say if it's going up or down first. We'll see probably by tomorrow. We'll see what price is doing. For gold, we did see a bit of a nice move to the upside, quite aggressive move down, and then prices find support and moved up again. So gold's a little bit of a funny one, I'm not gonna lie. Very choppy. I haven't traded it in a few weeks now, gold, so it's definitely not at the top of my watch list. You can see that price action down the left was awful. Big breakout to the downside, came straight back down again. So gold is a very volatile pair. It's not difficult to trade because it really does respect price action a lot. You can see nice push down the left, pull back, push, breaks through structure, lower high continuation. So it's very simple in terms of just understanding that that kind of structure movement. You can look to get involved at those highs and just ride it down, but when it's moving like this, it's definitely best to just stay away from it, wait for price to become clearer, and then look for our continuations. But yeah, yesterday I was favoring some buys for gold because price came back into kind of this area of consolidation, which now will be acting as demand. We also had a bit of a trend line here as well, which we are still sort of holding on to. It's kind of breaking in and out, but it's still sort of holding on to that trend line. So yeah, I was favoring price to continue to the upside, and it still kind of is continuing to the upside. It came back to retest this kind of consolidation here as well, again acting as demand, tapped into that, and now we're seeing some upside. But at the same time, we had a bit of an aggressive sell-off here. So yeah, gold is just a little bit choppy. If we can take out this high, then yeah, I think gold will be good back up to 1796, back up to these highs. Then we'll see what happens with gold from there. If not, and we have another aggressive sell-off like we did here, then gold might be slowly getting ready to reverse and melt to the downside there. So I can see both things happening, but we do need to break through this resistance here to confirm to me that we're heading up to those highs. If not, and we see an aggressive sell-off like we did on the left, we're probably going to melt off to the downside. So there could be some nice sells there, but like I said, gold's just a little bit choppy now, so need to wait for some clearer price action. Hopefully tomorrow something would have developed by then, and I'll be able to pinpoint where price can go in a bit more confidence. But so far it's looking bullish. So yeah, if it continues and breaks through that resistance, then 1796. If not, and then I think price is probably going to melt off down to these lows, then probably these lows here after that. And if we do that, then that's definitely a move that I want to get involved in. Don't use support resistance to trade. Kind of. I mean, I use a lot of patterns in my trading, like head and shoulders, double top, flags. I use all of that in my trading. Nothing really special that you can't find, online or on YouTube. But yeah, it's mainly support and resistance, understanding where the levels are. I'm not really looking too much at historical support and resistance levels. So I'm not like going onto the monthly chart and scrolling back to 1998 and looking at levels since then. I'm just looking at recent, support and resistance levels. So like this level here is something that I would look at. really nice resistance going across there, tapped into a couple of times. That's the level that I'll be looking at. So yeah, normally I just trade support resistance in the combination with structure like so, and just understanding that the market moves in waves and just following that structure, and obviously using multi-time frame analysis as well, so I can take advantage. Because sometimes the good thing of using multi-time frame analysis is that, like say like on the daily you're expecting a move down, if you drop down to like the 15-minute and you find an entry there, you don't have to be involved for the whole move down to make enough pips you need to make on that trade. You can just be involved for 20%, 30% of the move and be done for the day, and the daily can do whatever it wants. But so yeah, I use multi-time frame analysis, looking for key levels in the market where prices reacted recently, looking to play off that again, and just following the structure of the market. If it's making higher highs, higher lows, I look to try and stick with that until price potentially reverses or gets to a key level. But yeah, that's essentially I trade. Don't have it too complicated. Sometimes I look at supply and demand, but I wouldn't say I'm consistent with that. I mainly am consistent with just the support and resistance, but if I can look at supply and demand, add that as confluence to my trade, then yeah, I'll look at that as well. But yeah, not keeping it too complicated, because again, normally you find that the simpler the strategy, the better. Not necessarily by the amount of profits you make, but by like how easy it is to actually trade profitably. So yeah, just trading structure and price momentum. That's all. Nothing too special really. I mean, how do you trade? Are you recently getting into Forex, or do you look at trading supply and demand, or do you trade fib? I mean, I sometimes use fib, but not really, to be fair. I mean, sometimes use it as confluence, but most of the time I look to trade off just levels anyway, so I don't really look at fib. But that's just me. I know a lot of traders who use fib, which is nothing wrong in that, of course. And again, any pairs that you guys are looking at, just feel free to share in the comments. We'll take a look at it, see what's going on. Like I said, main pairs I'm focusing on is Euro USD for potential buys. But first I want to see a bit more rejection on the DXY and obviously pound CAD as well. Looking for some sells there to take it into lows. Coming into this trend line here, so price having a bit of a reaction from that. So maybe if you can break through that, that will interest me a lot. Or put a low high somewhere, and yeah, that'll probably be my trigger to get into the trade again, and see if we can get to the lows this time. Okay, recently got into Forex. Nice. Well, welcome to the game. And it's good that you're recent as well, because like with Forex, you can either go two ways. You can either go like you get profitable and very, very good quickly because you don't develop any bad habits and you just install yourself with good habits, and it can be a very quick and easy process. Or you can go the long way, which is where you start getting too emotionally attached to trading, develop bad habits, and then it takes you forever to get into the profitable kind of trading area, because there's so many difficult habits you need to shake off and rechange your mindset on. But if you're coming in for a blank canvas, it's quite good, because if you can like really just implement a strategy, it doesn't have to be the most amazing strategy ever, just a simple strategy, and then build off that. You can really build yourself a really solid foundation and go a long way from there quite quickly as well. No, I don't. I don't use smart money or order blocks. I just keep it with support resistance mainly. Sometimes I look at some slight supply and demand. Can't speak, but yeah, I just keep it to support resistance. I mean, I'm not saying that order blocks and stuff that they don't work. They do work. They do work quite well. But yes, this always been the way I trade. I mean, I've looked at order blocks, but I haven't really looked at it too much in depth to say that I know a lot about it, because I don't. But yeah, I just trade support and resistance, like this trade that I'm looking to take now, off 80 CAD. Wait, support, resistance, and patterns as well, by the way. Yeah, this trade I'm looking to take now of pound CAD, just simple support broken, looking for the retest and the continuation, understanding that momentum is down in the higher time frames and looking to ride that to the downside. The move at 80 CAD that I was looking to take yesterday didn't end up getting an entry, but just looking at price coming back down to a key level of support, it was giving a nice head and shoulder pattern here, as you can see. Left shoulder here with that consolidation, the head, the right shoulder, and looking for the continuation, and we're getting that move there. So, you know, it doesn't have to be so complicated. I'm not saying all the blocks are complicated, but you know, the simpler the better. And sometimes, you know, strategies like smart money concepts are they're very, very good, but sometimes they can be a little bit difficult to understand or get your mind around. So sometimes if you're coming into the market, sometimes it's better to start with more simpler strategies and then work your way on to more in detail strategies, you know, as you gain more experience in that. Any particular pair I trade the most? Probably say pound USD and Euro USD, simply because they have probably the cleanest price action and they move the most when I'm awake, because I live in London, and when I wake up, you know, it's coming right into the London session, and pound USD and Euro USD are the main pairs that are going to be moving for me in that time. I know obviously a lot of pairs will move during the London session, and a lot of pairs do, but pound USD and Euro USD do the most, and also in my opinion probably have the cleanest structure. And again, Euro USD I'm pretty sure is the most traded pair, traded currency pair, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, with currency pair like that, you're always going to get clean price action where price is not moving too, you know, crazy, something like exotics like the peso or something like that, where it could change quite quickly. But something like Euro USD is very, very stable, and you know, it's easy to trade with just simple, you know, understand the levels are and just follow the momentum and the trend in the market. So yeah, Euro USD and pound USD, especially if you're beginning to come into Forex, and if you're looking what pair to trade, I'll probably say Euro USD or pound USD. Or if you're in the Asian session, I'll say AUD USD, because AUD USD is quite good as well. Then you've got the more aggressive pairs like pound AUD, pound JPY that do pack a punch. Yeah, I do have to admit, Euro USD and pound USD haven't been the best this month. You can still see the price action. If I just draw a box around it, it hasn't been great. You know, it's been a lot better when it's been trending for here, there. You know, a little bit choppy there, I have to admit as well. But yeah, it hasn't been the best, and that's always gonna happen. Sometimes you're gonna get a really nice period where prices are moving really, really well, and you're seeing clear price action where it's, you know, really easy to get into trades here, and it's easy to find consistency with it as well. Then you get periods like this where it's kind of difficult. You might see some drawdown. You know, you might get maybe a few losing streaks as well, which is always going to happen. Sometimes the market's been moving well, sometimes it's moving bad. But for Euro USD, pound USD, overall they tend to be very good pairs. But that always happens. You know, doesn't matter what pair you trade. But yeah, and that's why I don't always only trade Euro USD and pound USD. I do trade, you know, a wide range of pairs. You know, right now I'm looking at pound CAD, getting in a trade there, and also I was looking at AUD CAD yesterday. So, excuse me. So yeah, I don't look at Euro USD and pound USD all the time, and when they are moving like this, then yeah, I'll just move into a different pair. But the pair I'll probably, if I was to stick to a pair, one pair or two pairs, yeah, I would say Euro USD or pound USD. And the AUD USD is quite good. I mean, gold is quite good as well, but it just has that that occasional craziness about it, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But in terms of like how it moves, gold is quite good as well. A little bit choppy. You can see here, like here's just wicks everywhere. That could be, you know, a big nuisance sometimes when prices moving like that. But when it's like clear price action, like up here was great to trade. Didn't touch it when it was over here. But yeah, I do like gold as well, but I don't trade it that much. I do have to be honest. I mainly stick to just to the Forex pairs, but if I had to pick a commodity, it would probably be gold as well. And silver's not bad, but again, can be a bit crazy sometimes. And I do like GJ as well, but again, GJ is quite volatile. If you're not careful with it, you can really damage your account with it, because it does sometimes have a really big kick. And also, I look to swing my trades overnight as well. And pound JPY has obviously got JPY with it, which tends to move the most in the Asian session. So when I'm asleep, sometimes there's some big moves for pound JPY, and if I've got a position open, you know, it can either be for me or against me, but it can be, you know, quite a big move, 60, 70 pips sometimes. I'll wake up price in a completely different, you know, area that when I saw it when I went to bed. So pound JPY is a good pair as well. Also does have some good moves during the London session, so it's another move that another pair that I like to trade a lot as well. But yeah, mostly pound pairs I do like to trade. Yeah, I do agree, Pablo. I mean, the price for gold is good. It does have some clear structures, you know, up, down. You know, the way it moves, it really does make its like lower highs and lower lows quite clear. I think that's why gold is so popular as well, and because gold probably has, you know, some more volatile moves, and because it moves similar to Euro USD and Pound USD, it's kind of like Euro USD and Pound USD on steroids. You know, you get more pips for it, you get more, you know, more profits because price can go a little bit more further. But yeah, it does have clear price action a lot of the time, but sometimes it does have periods where it can get a bit messy. So I do tend to stay away with it, away from it when it's moving like this. You know, similar to what it's doing now, but previously over here, you know, gold was quite clear. A little bit choppy these days though. Morning, Orain, how are you doing? I mean, they are slightly correlated, to be fair, because they are partnered with US dollar. I mean, if US dollar is strong, then Euro USD will go down, Pound USD will go down, and gold will go down. So yeah, they are correlated. They are partnered with the USD. So if the USD is something, it will affect gold, it will affect Pound USD, it will affect Euro USD. So yeah, they are correlated. As DXY goes up, you know, gold comes down. GJ is overrated. I know. I mean, it's quite a popular pair. I'm surprised, to be fair. I mean, I do like GJ. I have to admit, I do like it. But I'll probably pick Pound USD over Pound JPY though. I mean, Pound JPY though has been giving some serious moves to the upside. So, you know, if you're looking at buys any time here, you know, you really banked some really nice profits over the past few days. Create some new highs. I'm getting ready for Pound JPY to have that bit of a sell off to the downside, because it does need to retrace. You can see it's had such a big push. You know, it saw its first bearish candle from here around the 152 mark. Next bearish candle there, slightly bearish anyway, at 157. So you got all of this here. The price has done, you know, little to none retracement on the daily time frame. So we're bound to get price to come back into this area soon enough. Again, I don't know when, but when we do, it's definitely an opportunity I'll be looking to get involved in. And in some shorts, but right now price is still bullish, so I will be careful. You know, I'm not going to try and force the move down and try and short it just because, you know, because it's looking likely. You know, price is still very bullish here on the higher time frames. So like I said, you know, with my multi-time frame analysis, I'm waiting for that shift in the higher time frames first, and then I'll look to drop in the lower time frames to take advantage of those moves. Yeah. A lot of people trade GJ as well. I see some people that only trade GJ and GU as well. Yeah, I don't know why it's so popular to be honest. And Euro JPY is not that popular, but similar pair to GJ as well. Yeah, I haven't looked at USD CHF. Yeah, USD CHF is a bit of a funny one for me because yesterday we had some really nice momentum to the downside there. As you can see on the hourly, price was looking good. We're just simply waiting for that pullback and then the continuation for today. But again, like I said earlier in the stream, that always wait for the daily candle closure to confirm momentum. Well, that's what I do anyway. I wait for the daily candle to confirm momentum, and you can look at this momentum here on the hourly. And if we go onto the daily, you can see momentum is not there at all. You know, price is just giving us wicks to the downside. So we've got the hourly time frame and probably the 4 hourly time frame telling us that momentum is down. Where we've got daily showing rejection, you know, at this support here, you know, time resistance. So, you know, the daily and the 4H and the hourly is not making, you know, perfect sense together. They're not linking well. So when price is doing that, I normally stay away, wait for daily to catch up with things, or you know, price action to shift, something to happen so I can get a clearer, you know, direction, and wait for daily, 4H and hourly to all make sense together before I do look to jump into the trade. But yeah, you can see here on the daily a lot of rejection at the support. So I'm raising my eyebrow a little bit at this one for USD because, you know, I can still see price falling, because if we look at the daily here, it looks like potentially price is putting a bit of a head and shoulders there, and we've got the neckline running through here. So I can still see a dump to the downside potentially if that head and shoulders pattern does play out. But because we're rejecting this support so much here for all these wicks, we might see a move up first before we do get that move down. So yeah, USD CHF I'm a bit unsure about, and DXY as well. You know, DXY did pull back yesterday, which I didn't like as well, which is another reason why, you know, I'm not so confident about getting to the Euro USD longs at the moment. See DXY still just about hanging on to that daily support. If I go in the lower time frames, you can still see DXY is still pushing to the upside here, and that push, pullback, so far another push. So yeah, if the DXY can give us a double top here, that would be great at that resistance and start to sell off again. Then we might see USD-CHF turning bearish again. But yeah, I'm not a fan of USD-CHF right now. I'll probably rather wait for price to do something like this, because we do have a really nice support going through the market here. I'll probably wait for price to get below this again, retest that, and then get involved around here and look for sales to the downside, you know, back to these lows, maybe some new lows as well, maybe the next psychological level. Actually, maybe not, that's quite far down. But yeah, some more continuation on that retest. If we come back down, for USD-CHF and hang on to this level as support, we could actually be looking at potentially a higher low and price starting to reverse. And that way, price will be in sync with the daily, because on the daily, we've got rejection at that support with all those wicks there. And then on the hourly and the 4H will have potentially our first higher low of the market. So things will be in support, daily rejecting support, hourly giving us a higher low, and then there could be some nice buys to take that to the upside, back into this resistance here, and then potentially further up there as well. So that would make a lot of sense. But if not, and price gets below, then on the retest, I would say sales will be looking good. So for me, I'm mainly looking to play off what this level does here around 0.93, 0.92, 250. So I want to see what price does here. Do we reject it, or do we simply break through? If we break through, then retest, continuation. If not, I'm looking for that first higher low. And yeah, we'll look to swing USD-CHF to the upside, and I will be keeping an eye on the DXY as well, see what that's giving me. Like I said, if we do get that double top there on the DXY and look to sell off again, that means we should be seeing more weakness in the US dollar, which will probably help USD-CHF go and break through that support. Then we'll look for the retest and the continuation. If not, and the DXY continues like that, then we'll wait for the retest for USD-CHF and then look to buy things back up again. But yeah, USD-CHF is just a little bit of a weird one right now. The daily and the lower time frames are not agreeing, and that's kind of like my rule of thumb. If that makes sense, rule of thumb. You know, when they're not agreeing, I tend to just stay away. Yeah, it's 100% Pablo. Yeah, when I'm looking, basically any USD pair, to be honest, any USD pair I'm looking to trade, I'm always having one eye on what the DXY is doing. If the DXY is coming up to a key level of resistance, I don't really want to be looking to short Euro USD, because if the DXY might come down, Euro USD will go up. So yeah, normally the time they're in sync anyway, but if they're disagreeing there's definitely a sign not to take the trade there for the DXY. So always keep an eye on that pair, and sometimes it can help as well, because sometimes you look at Euro USD, be a bit confused, you don't know where price is going, it's looking a little bit choppy, but then you move into the DXY and it's looking a lot clearer and looks like price potentially might go in one direction. Then you can look to get back into Euro USD, see if you can reanalyze that a little bit with that information, with that newfound knowledge, and you might get into some nice trades there, in sync with the DXY. So it's definitely something to look out with any USD pair, really, especially like Euro USD and Pound USD and gold as well. But any USD pair will make a lot of sense to check out the DXY. Yeah, no problem, Orain. Yeah, that is possible. I mean, it's not something that I look at myself all the time in my trade. It's not something I base a trade off. But yeah, if sometimes the daily leaves a wick, but the thing is, you need to understand which way the direction of the wick is in. For instance, here, if I go on the daily here on the USD CHF, you can see we've got a really nice wick to the downside here for USD CHF, but I wouldn't expect price just to go and fill that wick. It could do, of course, anything could happen, but I wouldn't expect price just to go and fill that wick, simply because daily is at support. If price was trending to the upside like this, and then it goes and puts a wick in somewhere here, then yeah, I would expect price to go and fill in that wick, because why, I'm expecting the trend to continue. So it would make a lot more sense for that instance. If price was putting a wick in the direction of the trend, then yeah, I would definitely expect price to go and fill that wick in, and then you use that into your trading. But not all the time. Wicks represent continuation, kind of 50% of the time. 50% of the time wicks will show you continuation, on the other side they'll show you rejection. Here's clearly rejection, but we can still obviously go and break through that support. I'm not saying we won't break through the support, but here's definitely not something that you look for price to go and fill that wick now to the downside, simply because we're at support. Don't want to be selling into that daily support. For me, this is showing rejection, and potentially price might want to move up. So it's not a wick that I'm looking to fill, but if it was to the upside, then yes, then potentially we could go fill that wick. So it's all about understanding where momentum is in the markets. If we're in a bullish trend or a bearish trend, what's the overall overview? Because if we're putting wicks into support, if the overview is long, that's good. That's showing rejection. We can get into some longs there. But if it's short, it's not something that you really want to look at. So yeah, I do agree with that, but you need to understand which way price is wanting to go first in order to go and fill that wick. Because like I said, wicks then always show continuation. They can show rejection as well. You can see, a lot of time, we say more of the time they show rejection than continuation, to be honest. You can see here a lot of wicks there, price moving up, wicks there, price moving back down, wicks there, price moving down. So yeah, there's truth to that statement, but I've never really based a trade off that concept before. But again, because I've never based a trade off that concept before, I might not know how successful it could be. So it's definitely something that you could go back test. Again, when you've got like ideas and different concepts in Forex, the best thing to do with it is just go and back test, so you don't have to put stress on yourself with a live account or anything. Just go back test it, do about 30, 40 or 50 trades if you can of that, and then by then you'll have an idea if it's something you could actually use in your trading, or if it's something that you just want to get rid of. So yeah, that's the best way to find out, really, just to put it to the test, and if it stands the test, great. And then yeah, add it to your trading. If it's looking a bit dodgy, and then yeah, it's something that you can get rid of. And especially since you're new to Forex as well, it's definitely something to get a good habit of back testing stuff rather than just putting stuff into the market, kind of hoping for the best. Because if you can get that habit, under your belt quite quickly, you save yourself a lot of money, because you won't be putting your capital at risk on things you don't know that may or may not work out. Yeah, sure, no problem. Happy to help. Okay, 80, not 80 CAD. Pound CAD still looking bearish here. Still coming back into this trend line. So I'll see what happens here with the reaction. Normally when we do get a pullback, we normally do get this sort of price action here, where price, say this is the impulse, we normally push once again, and then from there is normally when we start to sell off and kind of get that kind of bear flag pattern, which is kind of what a bear flag is, kind of the second push and then the sell off. And that's potentially what we've got here. We've got the impulse to the downside, we've got the first push, the second push, and now looking at price starting to continue back down to these lows here for pound CAD, which is basically what we got here. We got a bull flag here, which is what I was looking to trade yesterday, but that didn't turn out so well. We had a nice push here, the pullback, get the bull flag, and then the continuation. Obviously prices come back down now, but looking at the same side, but bearish now. So I'm just seeing if we can get the break of that trend line there, wait for the retest of the lower high to confirm things for me. That's not just going to creep back up again, and then I'll get into some sells to take it into the lows. So I think pound CAD for me is at the top of the list of pairs I'm looking to get into. AD CAD as well, but I feel like AD CAD might take a long time before anything looks good. It's already had about 100 pip move, I'm pretty sure it was, from here to up there, over 100 pips to the upside. I was looking at getting involved on that break and retest, but it hasn't given me anything, so I want to see that retrace first, and then I'll be looking to get into some buys, because I think we're getting a reversal here. So if that's the case, we're probably going to come back to the highs all the way up there. So it's definitely going to be an opportunity to get back involved in this AD CAD trade. I just need to keep an eye open for it now. It's still looking bullish, but not something that I'm willing to trade, because if I do get into a buy here, and I put a stop loss just below this wick like that, price, because it's already done that 100 pip move, it might continue in my direction for a little bit, but then that bigger retracement might come back down, take me out, and then continue. So I might as well just wait for that retracement and then get involved in the trade. Since I'm a swing trader, I look to hold for like a day or two, sometimes 3. So I might as well just wait for that bigger retracement, and then I'll look to get into some longs. You can use TradingView for back testing. That's what I use to back test. You can use the replay tool, which is that button there. It says replay. All you have to do is pick a pair, press the replay tool, go to an area and price, say there, so you don't see what's happening. Find out wherever your strategy is that you want to apply in the back testing, and then just trade the market. And all you have to do is say you want to take a short here or something. The stop loss there, this is not a strategy or anything, this is just a random trade. Say you want to do that, and then all you have to do is click the play button or the skip one bar button like that, and you can see what happens. In that case, that'll be a loss. All you do is record that down, get a simple like Excel spreadsheet. You can get it on your computer or write it down. If you don't have that, write it down onto a piece of paper. Write your stop loss, your size, what strategy you're using, also the date and time as well, because sometimes you'll be asleep, because this is 24/7 here, 24/5, not the weekend of course. So you understand what sessions you're getting in, because like this here's 1 a.m. here, so I would not be awake to trade this trade. So reality, I would not be taking this trade, but just simply use the replay tool. That's what I use. Record it down on a sheet somewhere, and take about at least 30 trades, preferably around the 50 mark, just to get a bigger overview of what the strategy is giving you. And just use the play tool and just take the trades when you see them. And it's good because you don't know what's coming next. There's also stuff for you can use for MT4 as well. I mean, I don't use that, but I just use TradingView just because it's quick and easy, to be honest. So yeah, TradingView is great for it. Mate, TradingView should sponsor me the way I just sold that. One day. But yeah, mainly focus on pound CAD here as well. I think NZD CAD is at a nice area where sales could be looking good, but I'm not so inclined to take sales for NZD CAD for two reasons. One, because this is a big shift in momentum to the bulls here, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not looking to go and sell against that now. And two, because I'm expecting AUD CAD to continue to the upside. And AUD CAD and NZD CAD are very two highly correlated pairs. NZD and AUD are very similar, the way they move and the strength and the weakness, and obviously CAD, the same pair in both currency pairs. So if I'm expecting a reversal on AUD CAD, 9 times out of 10, I'm most likely going to get a reversal on NZD CAD as well. So if I'm looking at getting into some buys for AUD CAD and expecting price to come back here sooner or later, then it doesn't make sense for me to go and now sell NZD CAD, which potentially could be doing the same thing, especially with this strong shift in bullish momentum here as well. So NZD CAD's at a really nice place for sales, which I did say earlier in the week I'll be looking to sell at, but I just didn't expect price to get there the way it did, and for AUD CAD to start reversing the way it did as well. So it's a great place to sell off. You can argue that this whole place is just one big consolidation really. Price is moving sideways between that support and that resistance there, and we've had a false breakout. Prices come down, test the lows of the consolidation, back up, testing the highs of the consolidation, and now you might expect price to do the exact same thing and come back down again. Or if we do break out, we could be looking at some nice continuation, and like I said, potentially the reversal. But yeah, for NZD CAD, if we can hold on to this like it's done here, here numerous times, we could see a nice sell-off to the downside, or at least halfway, and even halfway would give us 100 pips. So it's definitely something worthwhile in terms of risk to rewards. Even halfway, the whole way would be 200 pips, which will be very nice. Not sure if I'll trade the whole thing though, but yeah, I think NZD CAD is just at a nice level and something that looks good to trade. But like I said, the two reasons why I'm not looking to trade it is because I think AUD CAD's having a reversal, so I probably expect NZD CAD to follow the same way. And obviously we're having such a big shift in momentum here with the bulls, and I like to trade with the momentum than against it. So if anything, the better setup for me would be if price can break through this, come back, retest it as support, and the longs here on the higher low would be a much better trade, more probable of happening as well. So yeah, I'll probably wait for that for anything there for NZD CAD. But if we do see a rejection here, I would not be surprised, and if that is the case, if we see a strong rejection, I'll look for some retracement and get involved and trade that halfway of the range, something like that. But I'm not going to get in here at the top. It's too easy for price just to push on, take me out. At least make it difficult for price to take you out as well. So yeah, I'll let that setup be. I'm not going to go and risk capital on that, but I will keep a close eye on it to see how it develops, to see if it would have been successful or not. But if it's not successful, it's probably because momentum's up, and like I said, these pairs look like they could be getting ready for reversals. And also another reason why I think AUD CAD is reversing is because it's coming to such a key weekly barrier of support and resistance here. You can see really strong rejection here to the upside, strong rejection of resistance there, and potentially a strong rejection of support as well. And it potentially is like a massive head and shoulders pattern here, inverse head and shoulders should I say, for AUD CAD as well. So we could be seeing that completion of that shoulder and the continuation back to the upside, and like I said, potentially a reversal there for AUD CAD. So for me, momentum is definitely to the upside. We've got weekly confluence, daily confluence, 4H confluence, you name it, confluence is there. So like I said, just waiting for that retracement now for AUD CAD and looking to ride it up into those highs there. So we'll wait for price to get a bit clean. It's a little bit choppy now. Hopefully you can retrace something like that. If I get a fib out where it's halfway, halfway is around about here, so that's a nice area of supply there as well. So if you can tap into that somewhere, yeah, some longs will be good, and the risk to reward is looking good as well. So hopefully you can get something like that, tomorrow maybe if we do retrace, but we will see. I mean, I haven't checked if we've got any news coming out today, to be honest, so I'll go and check that in a second. Just going to see if we've got any news coming out today, which could skew things. Okay, so we had some pound news this morning, of course. Pound's looking quite bearish. We've got some CAD news in a bit, in about 2 hours time at 1:30 GMT, so that might say something for CAD. Again, if that's bullish, that's good for me because that could drive price down. And then yeah, I could get a nice opportunity to get some longs. And again, guys, if I do get some longs for 80 CAD, I'll let you know in my Telegram. So if you want to go check that out, feel free to go do that. I've got a link to that in the description. And if you scroll to the top of the live chat as well, I've got a link to that there. But yeah, we'll see what happens with CADs. Hopefully it can drive price down. If not, we might see another big push up, which is good again, because then this will be consolidation. And now this will be demand, and the price will come back down, retest this. Again, there'll be some nice entries there to ride that to the upside as well. So whatever happens, just wait for that retracement to come. I'm not trying to get that fear of missing out, emotions, because that never ends well. But yeah, we'll see what price can give us there, and then yeah, we'll look to take that long from there. And obviously it will affect pound CAD as well. Pound CAD looks like it's trying to break through this. Again, pound CAD is looking good. I'm just waiting for that lower high first, and then yeah, we'll be taking those lows. Again, 15-minute looks like price is starting to really continue there. So yeah, waiting for that pullback. But again, I'm not too fast to get into pound CAD so high up, because again, my target is all the way down there, and if I measure that from where price is, that's 130 pips from where price is. If I can get, let's say, even a 40 pips stop loss, I'm still looking at 3-to-1 there. So it doesn't really matter too much as long as I can get involved, somewhere in this region here. Get a 40 pip stop loss, looking at 3-to-1. If I can get that lower 30 or 20, we're looking at 4 or 5-to-1 risk to reward, which is great. So just waiting for that retracement again, and then looking to scale that down to the downside. But again, we do have that CAD news, so I'm not too sure how it affect it. But hopefully you can get a trade before that. If not, I'll wait for things to settle and then get involved later on. How long have you been trading? I've been trading for a little over 3 years now. I started in early 2018. Yeah, early-ish 2018. So yeah, over 3 years now. Do you go for pip goal or percentage goal? I go for risk to reward. So probably percentage goal that relates to. So if I risk 1%, I'm looking for what, 3%, 4%, something like that. Again, it varies. I don't just look for one strict risk to reward. Sometimes it's a 2%. Sometimes it could be a 4 or 5. I don't like, because I know a lot of traders would have like, I have to go for a 3-to-1. For me it's whatever. If the target is 5-to-1, I'll go for 5-to-1. If the target's a 2-to-1, I'll go for a 2-to-1. But I know over time, my average risk to reward will be greater than what I'm risking, so it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, I'll probably say that translates to percentage goal. I don't go for pip goal. Decision to swing trade and day trade. I feel like swing trading is a lot more. I feel like swing trading is like the trader I want to be, because like the way I think of it is, if I look at myself in 10 years time, how do I expect my life to be? And I don't see myself waking up in the morning very quickly, getting to the markets and doing like 2-3 hours on the lower time frames, really intense, and then just being done for the day. I like the continuous process of swing trading. Of, you know, I manage my trades throughout the day. You know, I've got different positions potentially going, and it's a lot more relaxed because, you know, there's a lot more waiting involved and waiting for price to get to areas rather than just being on your desk at a certain time. And it gives me opportunity to do other things as well, because with the day trading, you know, you have to kind of be there, you know, day in, day out. Maybe not every single day, but most days you have to be out there. Whereas the swing trading, you know, I have the flexibility of, you know, not necessarily being at my desk all the time, but still trading and still making similar profits as well. So I feel like, looking at my life 10 years time, swing trading is definitely what I want to be doing. So best start now anyway, then start doing day trading and then try and change later. So yeah, that's the theory behind it, and I like how swing trading works as well. It's a lot more just waiting, it's a lot more directional based rather than just reaction, look at what price to do now, get in, get out sort of thing. So yeah, that's why I choose swing trading. I think a lot more people are starting to choose swing trading these days, because on YouTube, you know, like 2 years ago, it was just mainly like a lot of day traders, but now I've seen a lot more swing traders come around. So yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, it's all preference as well. I mean, like I said, in 10 years time I see myself swing trading. You know, in 10 years time, if you see yourself day trading, that's perfectly fine, then, you know, day trade. I mean, we're all here just you know, to make profits, to make money at the end of the day, really. So it doesn't really matter how you do it, just matters that you do it, essentially, of course. So yeah, that's why I choose swing trading. It's more relaxed as well. But yeah, I feel like if you're starting into Forex, it's probably better to choose kind of day trading or kind of like short-term swing trading, if you say, because you can learn a lot quicker with swing trading. You might only get 2 positions in a week, or sometimes 1 position in a week, so you don't always learn, and the more you trade, the more you learn, you know, and then the more experience you get. So it's probably best if you're just starting out to get into day trading. You can look at holding positions if you want to, but looking at getting to trades, you know, where you put your entries, where to get out, you know, how to work out your bias, all of that stuff. You know, you want to be taking as much trades as possible, really, to get your experience. So if you're starting out, it's probably better to go short term, which is what I did when I started out. I was day trading a lot, and then yeah, I made the move over slowly but gradually to swing trading. But yeah, it's each to their own. And sometimes, like, you don't always have to pick swing trading or day trading. You can do both. You know, with the way I trade with multi-time frame analysis, you know, I could easily, not easily, it's difficult, I could drop down to, like, you know, 50-minute, 5-minute, even less, 3-minute time frame, and look to get my entries there and try and, you know, get the day trade, you know, so to say, get the day trade of like what, 20, 30 pips, 40 pips, and then move my stop loss to break even, leave a little bit on, and see if I can leave that rest to trickle on to go and hit my swing target. So I can do a bit of both, of taking the day trade profits but leaving the rest to hit my swing trade profits. So, you know, didn't always have to be so, you know, sectioned off. You have to be a swing trader or day trader. You know, it's just how you trade the market, really. I mean, I don't do that to be honest, but it's a way of trading as well. So you can do a bit of both as well. Yeah, but what are you guys? Are you guys day traders, swing traders, position traders, scalpers even? I mean, scalping is a whole different ball game, isn't it? Well, pound AUD still dropping again, expecting 1.83 there for pound AUD. Pound NZD expecting that support, which has just been hit, 1.92. Again, broke for that support quite easily, and we're seeing that continuation there. Just a simple bear flag there. Price impulsing, you know, retracing, bear flag, and the continuation. Very, very textbook there for pound NZD. Was looking for entries here, but I did miss that. We had some news there, so I didn't enter, but would have been a really nice trade there, of course. Okay, USD coming, what's looking starting to come back down now, so potentially, we'll be looking at that higher low here forming, or if you can break through, looking at that lower high forming on the retest, then take the sells, or of course take the buys here. So we'll see what happens on that retest. Again, I am live streaming again tomorrow, so hopefully that would have shaped up by then, so we can take a look at it better and maybe get some trades in for USDCHF. But we'll see what happens there. What's the DXY doing? DXY is still just about hanging on to that resistance there for dear life. We've got that resistance here, which I said, if you can get that double top, price will be looking good again. And I will be looking, if we can get a nice shift momentum back to the bears here, because this is quite a nice push. So if you can see like a nice bearish engulfing candle there, that will be nice, confirmation that price is coming back down, double top there. And now we could be looking for another sell-off back into these lows and the continuation. But if we start breaking through this, then we might continue a little bit more to the upside. So we'll see what the DXY gives us. Talk about 27 minutes left before that candle closes. But if we can close with some real nice momentum, then we could be looking at some good shorts for USDCHF. On the flip side, good longs for Euro USD, which is starting to stall now. Again, we do have this support now turn resistance, which price is holding on to, so maybe you could be looking at some nice longs from there. What's pound USD doing? Pound USD is still actually pushing to the downside, so pound is actually quite bearish right now. I think that's because of the news that we had early this morning. I think that was negative for pound, if I remember correctly, so pound's taking a little bit of a hit. So euro is probably definitely the better pair to look at buying than pound, because pound's still reacting to the news. But yeah, if euro can hold on to this, then there could be some nice longs there and a bit of a nice bull flag there, maybe back up to 1.17. Okay, you trade on the 15 minute. Now this with the swing, don't worry, you have the discipline soon. You'll have the discipline soon. Okay, day trader, nice. To be fair, I probably think most of you on here probably will be day traders, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, guys, like if you want me to look at the 15-minute time frame and 5-minute time frame, just let me know. I'll take a look at it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, I sometimes look to get onto 50-minute time frames to take my swing trades. Obviously, the main reason behind doing that is just to maximize the risk to reward. It's probably not the best way to go for me, because I probably have a higher win rate if I stick to maybe the half an hour or hourly, because I'm waiting for a bit more confirmation. But if I'm right on the 50-minute, I can really get really nice swing trade, and if I win run trading, definitely cover all my losses anyway. So yeah, I do look at the 50-minute chart sometimes when price is clear or coming to level. Like here might be a good example of potentially getting on the 15-minute. Maybe if price can give me a nice push up, come back higher low, there could be some nice longs down the 15-minute, maybe retesting this support here as well, and taking some longs there. So it's something to look at. GU, let's take a look. Yeah, GU pushed into that level. That area between 0.58 was tapped into 0.618 there as well. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if DXY can look bearish again and start to push down, then I do expect pound USD to go up. The only thing about pound USD is that it's reacting to some news that it's had early on today, which is, I think, is bearish or bad for the pound anyway. So it's reacting to that. That's why pound's looking a lot more bearish, well, coming to the downside anyway than euro. So it's a little bit tricky getting to pound buys because I'm not too sure how long that reaction to the news is going to last. Sometimes you see with this, it could last the whole entire day, where price slowly trickles down, and then maybe coming in tomorrow it looks good again and it pushes back up. So I'll probably be more inclined to look at Euro USD for those buys to the upside, and they're pretty much the same pair anyway. Pound USD, Euro USD do normally make the same moves. Sometimes they do it slightly at different times. Sometimes Euro goes off first, then Pound follows, or Pound goes off first and then Euro follows. So they do move in the same way, same direction, in general. So I'll probably be more inclined to look at Euro USD than Pound, because for me, Pound's still reacting to that news and selling off a little bit. You can see from other Pound pairs, Pound NZD is still looking a little bit bearish. Pound JPY, strong reaction. Pound CHF, strong reaction there as well. Pound CAD having strong reaction. Pound AUD. So Pound is on a bit of a hit as well. Euro looks a little bit bearish there on JPY. And you can see Euro GBP starting to push up as well, which shows Euro is stronger than Pound right now. So if you're looking to buy, probably pick the Euro. Again, Euro Pound looking at it's going up. You want to be trading with that. But yeah, they're essentially same pair. But if you do get some nice confirmations here, there's nothing wrong with getting to buys here. If there is no confirmation, then price might just trickle down, and if that's the case, probably just leave it alone. Just redrawing that trend line using a wick. But yeah, okay. So yeah, Pound's looking good for buys, but not yet. Probably if you get confirmation, then yeah, we could be looking at good buys. But right now, still looking bearish. So we'll be looking at Euro USD a lot more. I mean, so far there's no confirmation there for Euro USD either. Still sideways. You can see on the hourly, putting 2 dojis now. Potentially could be a third. Still got about 20 minutes left before that candle closes. So that could end up being bullish, but right now momentum is sideways, so need to work out which way price is going to go. I mean, for Euro USD, we've got this big dump to the downside here, so we could easily just see price continue that dump again to the downside, so do watch out for that. But yeah, I am looking at those buys. I do have to admit, I am looking at those buys, so looking for some confirmations here. Then yeah, we'll look to ride Euro USD back up into the wick up here for some new highs around 1.16690, and then maybe the next psychological level 1.17, which is, we'll take that across somewhere around this area here, coming to that kind of supply down the left. So looking for overall push into there. Again, like I said earlier in the stream, because I'm not too sure about Euro USD, because it is coming into some daily support time resistance here. As you can see, if I draw a support here, this gave us a really nice move to the upside, and recently we just whipped into that yesterday and had a quite strong-ish pullback to the downside. So overall for me, Euro USD could still easily dump to the downside in a simple break and retest of that and dump to the downside. So if I do manage to get into some longs for Euro USD, I'll look to get stop loss to break even fairly quickly, just so if price does go for me, and price maybe comes back into that level again, reacts off it, I can be stopped out and then get ready for the sell off to the downside and get involved in that sell off. But if not, start moving to the upside, breaking through this level, and then like I said, probably 1.17 could be the next target for Euro USD there. I think it might line up nicely with, yeah, it does, with the negative 0.27 there as well. So nice confluence heading to the upside, just waiting for some confirmation here. Might drop down to the 15 for something there, or could wait for the shift on the hourly. Depends whatever's looking better. And then yeah, I'll look to get into some longs to the upside there. Yeah, we could be looking at a wick fill as well. Yeah, like I said, I can understand price going in both ways here for Euro USD. It's rejected that level, but we could just easily see price going, because it's not even really bearish, this candle on the daily so far. It's done a slight move there, but that could just be a slight retrace. And now this candle here still has 10 hours left before that candle closes. Could easily just flip bullish and go and fill that wick and push into this level here. So if that's the case here, we're looking to get involved in that flip and take that into that level, stop loss to break even, and then we'll just let what I would see what price is going to do. I don't know if you're going to look to take profits at that level. Nothing wrong with doing that, of course. I'm looking to see if I can push the trade a little bit further. Like I said, 1.17 could be a nice target, or maybe even this resistance here where price kind of stalled a little bit before it did a nice dump to the downside. That could even be a target there. Not sure if we'll hit that in the time left we have for the week, but yeah, some buys could be looking good here for Euro USD. So yeah, waiting if we can get something there for Euro. We don't have any USD news, so I hope you don't see anything too crazy coming out later. I know we'll probably see an injection with momentum coming into the crossover between London and New York around 1:30-ish GMT. So I can imagine that's when some momentum will start coming in and some buys might start looking good then, or maybe just before then, just before that momentum comes in. Then yeah, if we can get a nice push and we're looking good. If we start breaking through this level, I might reanalyze the chart if that happens, and reevaluate what I think your USD could do. Because like I said, if it starts breaking through this, then maybe that's not going to be a wick fill, and maybe we might actually be moving back down to the lows. So I'll be looking for shorts at that point if we do start breaking through this level. But yeah, stay above it. I will be inclined for some buys. Hey Patrick, how are you doing? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing well. GJ, yeah, so we were looking at GJ earlier. Like I said, I'm not going short on GJ. I know it's had this nice sell-off here, but let's be honest, if you look at the bigger picture of things, going the daily quickly, price is still so bullish. So again, I'm looking at shorts for GJ. I'm not continuing to go long in this at all. Price is just broken through this prior high here on the left, and I'm looking for price to come back down and eventually retest this, maybe even go past that a little bit, because we do have a lot of imbalance here where price might want to come and retrace. I think 50% of the move is around here-ish, so we can still even move into around this level here on 154. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for shorts for GJ, but I'm waiting for that shift first to be really clear and obvious before I take any sells, because momentum can still take us to the upside here. Looking at the higher time frames, I know hourly we've had a nice sell-off there, but again, a lot of people will be getting ready for some shorts here, and they could, eventually just be, stopped out like that, grabbing liquidity to the opposite side. So, like I said previously, we've got this area consolidation when price was having a hard time moving until yesterday it broke to the upside, and now potentially coming back down to retest this. So I'll see what price does here. We could easily hold this and then continue back up again. If not, and we have a price push up and starts forming a lower high somewhere, or continues down and forms a lower high somewhere, then that's when I'll look to get into the trade. When we put that lower high in, see a nice shift, get a nice bearish engulfing or nice change of momentum. But without that lower high, price could still find support and continue, because the high time frames are still very bullish here. So we'll wait for that lower high to kind of confirm things, because again, momentum is so bullish here. You don't really want to go against it too much until you got that nice shift. Then, like I said, targets will probably be the 156 area, the resistance on the daily now will be acting as support. Come back down to retest it, because you can see here, no retest at all, just continuation. Maybe on the lower time frames we retested it, but looking at the 4H, the daily, we didn't get any retest at all. So looking at price going back down to 156, but waiting for that first lower high first to confirm things, and that's when I'll look to get into some shorts. But if we don't and we just start moving to the upside, then yeah, I would not be looking at any shorts. So yeah, I do agree with you. We could continue to go long. I'm not looking to go long with it. If it does go long and push up to 159 next, that's fine. It just means that the sells will be looking even better when it gets to the area, because we have a better risk towards and probably a more aggressive sell-off as well. So we'll wait for that shift and then get into some sells. Where I'm from, well, origin, from my mum's from Zambia and my dad's from Nigeria, but as well, I'm born and raised in London, UK. Yeah, where are you from? Where are you guys from? I'm interested to find out where you guys are from. But yeah, I'm from London. Maybe we can get a retest of that. Nice, India. Do you have a lot of Indian subscribers on the channel? Great to see. Okay, UK too. Whereabouts in the UK? North, south? South Africa, nice. Florida, nice. Got people from all over the world. Crazy. Uganda, nice. Exotic places and that. Uganda, Florida, South Africa, India, wicked, wicked. Okay, we're seeing a bit of a push down Euro USD. See how it looks in the lower time frames. 15 minutes trying to get above that. We'll see what the DXY is doing. DXY could be looking to reject that resistance. Double top could be on the cards there. Again, if we do get a nice bearish engulfing, sales will be looking good back down to these lows, and buys on Euro USD on that. Oh, nice, Central London, fair play. I'm more outskirts, North London, near Watford, around there. Well, not really near Watford, but I live in a small town near it. I'm not sure if you've probably heard St Albans, but yeah, it's near Watford. Zimbabwe, wicked. That's rivals Zambia. That's where my mum's from. Nigeria as well, big up Niger. Love to see that. Yeah, this can hold off. It's wicked to see people from different places in the world all looking to do the same thing, trade Forex, which is great. Victor, Kenya, love to see that. No, I'm not in any trades at the moment. I was in pound CAD yesterday. I'm looking to get back into this one today, but no, I'm not in any trades right now. I could be getting to trades very soon though. Euro USD is looking nice for some longs. I mean, momentum's starting to come in. It hasn't really pushed in yet. We're coming to this support now time resistance. So we could still reject that and come back down again. See what the DXY, how that closes. If that momentum can continue, then yeah, I'll probably be looking at getting to some Euro USD longs. So yeah, might be getting to some trades very, very soon. When I get in trades, well, I'm doing a video on entries after the live stream today, so hopefully I get that posted today. But yeah, I'll be doing a video about how to enter your trades. And yeah, for me, all I look for is momentum and candlestick patterns as well. So it's very, very simple, nothing complicated. There's a million different ways to enter a trade, but for me, I find candlestick patterns and just momentum is kind of the most kind of like way I can be consistent with it, and it's just easy to get into the trades. And for me, it's not really too much about the trigger about me getting in. It's normally about the area of the market, knowing when price potentially might reverse from this area and getting in when you can see an entry signal. So yeah, I'll be doing a video on entries today, so make sure you look out for that. Hopefully that can be of value. I mean, if I do get a setup on Euro USD, I'll be posting a setup on the Telegram channel if I get something. So if you want to see that setup, see how the entry works, just check out the Telegram channel. Link to that at the top of the live chat, or if you check in the description below, there'll be a link to the Telegram there. Never looked at the DXY. Well, Sharif, you might want to go look at the DXY. DXY does help. It's a dollar index. Tells you where potentially the dollar's going. If the dollar's potentially going to go up, that's great, because you can just take that information over to your USD or something. Obviously, you need to take over to a USD pair, and then it'll help add confidence to your trade. It's not something you have to use, obviously, but it does provide good insights of where you could be seeing the dollar going in the future and the near future as well. Geez, Whitechapel from central London, nice. Yeah, I do trade full time. You can't have a WhatsApp number, but you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, and you can DM me there if you want to. I've got my Instagram handle in the description, so you can just go follow that. You can DM me there if you want to. Now, you're looking forward to the entry video. So am I as well. But yeah, guys, I know a lot of people do struggle with entries. But yeah, it's something that it's a tricky one, because entries determine if your trade is successful or not, because if it hits your stop loss, it's considered unsuccessful, even though if price might later reverse and go in your direction, and all that is due to where you're getting into the market, really. So entries are definitely very, very important. I'll be covering that in a video, so I hope you guys do enjoy that. But yeah, should be posting that later today. But we are seeing that Euro USD momentum coming through, which is good to see. We're coming up into that New York session in a second. It's coming up to the 12 GMT. So, around one-ish, we'll see that momentum really kick in. Whether this is a fake out to the upside and price coming back down, or we can see that momentum push in. I suspect it's probably going to push into these highs up here if we can stay above this level. So obviously, if I do get into a trade, stops will be well below this level. We'll be looking for a push into that resistance, and the next target will be 1.17 up there. DXY, how are you looking? Looking like it's selling off a little bit. Okay, not the best sell off there. We can still push to the upside, but it is a hint that potentially we could be holding at a double top. Prices retesting that resistance there, support term resistance. So if we can keep that up, we could be seeing a nice sell off to the downside there for the DXY. Pound USD still looking bearish though, because again, still reacting to the news that I had earlier this morning. So that's why I'm favoring trading Euro USD, simply because Pound USD still has that bearish news around it, so it might still see a bit more downside and be a bit more choppy. So we'll rather trade Euro USD right now, and obviously looking at Euro Pound as well. Euro Pound looks like it's pushing up quite aggressively. It might be putting a double bottom there as well, so that's telling me that Euro could be looking a lot stronger than Pound over the next day or so. So it's definitely that I want to be trading Euro USD rather than Pound USD. How to control your emotions while trading. That's a difficult thing, but the best way to do that I've found is also not a difficult answer, but discipline really. It's understanding what you want to do, what you're looking for in the charts, what you wanted to trade, and just simply doing that. Because if you think of that, because the way with trading, you've got so many different things you can do. I could just go to a random chart right now, say pound CHF, and then because it's selling off right now, I just look, okay, 2 bearish candles, that's looking good, I'm just going to go sell that. You've got the freedom to go and just click sell on anything you want to do, or click buy on anything you want to do. So when you've got that freedom, you've got so many different options, so many things you could do. But with discipline, you've got only limited options and only a few things you can do. So if you limit yourself to only a few things, that means you don't really worry about pound CHF selling off right now, because you know that according to your plan, you're waiting for a retracement on your USD for price to go up. So with that discipline, your emotion on fear of missing out, kind of starts to go away. It still might always be there, but it kind of goes away, because I've just got a plan in front of me. I'm just going to do what that plan says. And when I was writing that plan, I had my best interest you know, so I know that if I follow this plan, I'll be following whatever benefits me the most in the long run. So by having that plan and the discipline to carry out that plan is probably the best way to eradicate emotions, because let's be honest, that emotions that you have of losing a trade, winning a trade will always be there. You know, you can train yourself to be, you know, tough-skinned about it, but you always will have that kind of feeling, oh, I just lost money, or cool, I just made money, you know, of that confidence. So it will always be there, but discipline is how you get through it when you are experiencing emotions, because when you've got a plan and you just decide to stick to it, then, you know, you've got nothing really to worry about. You just have to stick to that plan. But yeah, it's a very tough thing to do. Yeah, I'll be looking at getting to EURUSD buys. I mean, we've got about 2 minutes left before this Audi candle closes, and it's looking good. If I do get into some buys here, and we don't pull back in the next 2 minutes, you know, we could be looking at some good buys, probably a stop loss, you know, somewhere around here, good amount of pips to the downside, just in case we roll over coming into the New York session. And then, yeah, we had a nice impulse correction here, and looking at kind of like a bull flag here to take that into the upside. And like I said, targets all the way up there as well. So yeah, EURUSD is looking good for buys in my opinion. If we break through this support, we might be heading down, so obviously that's where you put your stop loss. DXYs look like we're seeing a nice shift momentum to the bears. See how the other USD pairs are pairing up. AU still overall looking bearish. I mean, AU is quite strong anyway. Pound still looking bearish because it's still reacting to that news. USD CHF starting to sell off a little bit. USD CAD overall still looking bearish there as well. And gold still trickling up. So yeah, I think as long as we can hold on to this resistance here on the DXY, hold on to that support there on EURUSD, we do have really nice confluence of price moving to the upside there and to the downside there. So it makes total sense to get short there. Maybe even got a bit of a trend line going on as well potentially. Yeah, kind of like a makeshift trend line there on the DXY. Maybe just missing out on that by a couple pips or whatever for DXY, but you know, essentially respecting that again, nice confluence of the trend line and the support and resistance. So yeah, if we can hold this, very good probability of price moving into these lows, or at least back into this neckline here, and then EURUSD moving in the opposite direction. Only trade GJ. Okay, fair enough. I mean, if you only trade GJ, then there's not too much worry about looking at the DXY. If you only trade, you know, pound yen, then the DXY won't make too much of a difference to your trading, because obviously you're not trading a USD pair. So yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, what time frame do you trade pound JPY on? Are you looking at the low time frames, looking to scalp that, or day trade it, swing trade it? Yeah, pound JPY, for me, I'm getting ready for some sells back into this daily resistance here on the left, turn support 156. I'm looking for price to come back and retest this, either to continue to go long or maybe break back in and come short a little bit further. But I'm looking to target that support around 156. So I'm waiting for price to give me a lower high somewhere. It's looking like potentially could still be pushing on, but I need a little bit more for pound JPY is coming into this consolidation here. So I'm looking for price to give me a low high. Oh, excuse me. Get a bit of water down me. I'm waiting for a low high somewhere. So if we can push up low high, probably a nice head and shoulders actually there. And we could sell off there quite nicely, or if we can push and keep this momentum going, I think that'll probably be the better option, because that's really confirming that the bears are coming back in control. Wait for a bit of retracement, and then I'll look for the continuation on the lower highs somewhere. And yeah, targets will be 156 down there to retest that daily resistance now as daily support. And whether we start pushing to the upside or break below, I have no idea. We'll find out when we do get there, if we get there. So yeah, I'm getting ready for some shorts. Either that head and shoulder, I'll look to get involved there, or if that momentum continues, which will be my better option, because that's really showing that the bears coming in, and this is not just a fake out or a reaction to the news, because pound did take a hit to the news, and this could be, you know, playing a factor in that. So if that momentum can really continue there, look for some retracement, and I'll take some continuations into those lows. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting for pound JPY. I hope that helped. EURUSD, let's see how that candle closed. That's nice momentum. I will be looking to get long there for EURUSD and take that into this resistance up here, that daily resistance. Then potentially 1.17 there as well, stops below there. So I'll be posting that on the Telegram, guys. We're looking to get into that, but yeah, we have come into the end of the stream. Sadly, I know coming to the end of the stream, I will be going live again tomorrow. So I hope I do see you guys there. But yeah, like always, I'm gonna do a quick rundown of some of the pairs on my watch list before I end. And then yeah, look to end the stream. So EURUSD, like I said, guys, looking to get long on this one now. Looking for a move into that resistance and then 1.17 there potentially. I don't know if we'll get there. Like I said, I'll probably get my stop loss to break even fairly quickly. Maybe once we take out this high here, I might get stop loss to break even there and see what happens. I mean, it's up to you how you manage your trade, but that's what I'll be looking to get involved. Oh yeah, pound CAD as well, looking to get into some shorts here. Looks like we're getting just about a break of the trend line. Not really the most convincing close I've ever seen in my life. So my wait for price to really go and break this. I'll wait for some retracement, a little high somewhere. Retest of the trend line will be great as well. And then yeah, pound CAD all the way down to these lows because we're still holding onto this daily support now, term resistance. So I'm looking at continuations and just riding that overall bearish momentum to some new lows down here. So looking for more continuations for pound CAD. Like I said, waiting for that first lower high, and then I will be taking some shorts. And obviously USD CHF as well, we're looking at potentially shorting that as well if we can get below this. We're closing to support there, so I wouldn't short that. I'll wait for price to break through this, confirm we're breaking back, retest, and then the continuations to lows back there, maybe even lower. But if we start holding this as support, we might be reversing to the upside. In that case, we'll be looking to get long and ride that to the upside. So USD CHF, still waiting for that break and getting short on that. But yeah, those are the main pairs on my watch list. AUD CAD as well, but that needs to retrace a lot more, so I don't think I'll be looking at that today. But mainly looking to get into EURUSD, stops below this area, and then a push to the upside. So yeah, guys, I hope you found the stream, useful, enjoyed it, insightful, all the good stuff. I hope you did enjoy it, guys, because I do enjoy it. I really do appreciate all of you guys here watching the stream. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you, much appreciated, guys. All the kind words does mean a lot. If you're kind enough, drop a like on the video. That will really help the channel out, help the video out as well. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of the same content. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss out on a stream as well, guys. But I really do appreciate you being here with me, and I am live again tomorrow, 10 a.m. GMT to 12 p.m. GMT. So I hope I do see you guys there. So hope you all have a good day trading, and I hope I see you tomorrow. Pound CHF, yeah, I'll quickly do pound CHF for you. Okay, wow, pound CHF, big push to the downside. So yeah, for this one, pound CHF, I can see price pushing into these lows here potentially. I mean, like I said, pound CHF has been a choppy pair. I'm expecting price to eventually get there. Now we're looking for sales around here. Hasn't quite reached there yet, as you can see. But yeah, pound CHF for me has seen some nice upside recently, respecting this. Actually, if I do that trend line tool, will be a bit more accurate for you. But yeah, I think potentially price is moving this channel here, getting ready for a push into those highs up there. So if anything, coming back down here, could be looking for another lower high. High low, sorry. And then probably another push into the 1.27800 area for pound CHF. So yeah, I think that's what's on the cards for pound. Like I said, pound's still reacting to that news, so we're still seeing a bit of a bearish push here for pound. How's pound USD looking? Still looking a little bit bearish there as well. So watch out for that. Definitely wait for price to give you some confirmations, because at this moment it's looking like it's selling off. Then yeah, some continuations back along, or at least back into this resistance here, because there's a chance that we might push down, come up, reject this, and sell off again. And head and shoulders, you can see I do like a head and shoulders pattern, but yeah, that could be on the card. So probably a first target back into there, second target, some new highs. So yeah, I hope that helps, guys. I will be live again tomorrow, so you don't have to miss me too long. I'll be live again tomorrow. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Do really appreciate you guys here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.